And welcome to the late edition of News 2 at 10. Thanks for staying up with us. We start with Lisa in the Storm Center. The flurry's starting to move out, but we will continue to receive the cold shoulder.
It is really dangerously cold out there. John, take a look at the temperature in Nashville already. Before midnight at 15 degrees. We've started to see the skies clear in spots, and that allows temperatures to drop more readily, and that's happening out there tonight. 14 degrees already in Clarksville, 13 already in Paris, 15 in Camden. Dixon coming in at 14, Murfreesboro, you're 16, Cookeville 15, and of course we've got several 6-7 hours of dropping temperatures yet to go, but that's not the worst of it. The wind chills, the northwest winds have been gusty. They will get gustier tonight and tomorrow morning. It feels like 8 in Nashville, 3 in Clarksville. These are dangerous wind chills. They could get below 0 tonight, so we have a wind chill advisory overnight through early Friday morning. So folks, you got to be careful. It's a good thing the kids aren't going to be standing at the bus stop tomorrow morning. Most school systems closed. Hey, we didn't get the snow I forecasted. I was about 1.5 inches short. I thought about 2. It was about 1/2 inch, but Grant here in Spring Hill got enough to make a little mini snowman. Some of the high school kids from Brentwood High did a little better. These big guys were able to put together a big snow robot, I think is what they called it.
All right, thank you, Lisa. Now to the roads. What a mess here. TDOT map shows a bunch of counties highlighted in yellow. As you can see here, you'll see it full screen here. It includes Davidson County, about 25 other counties over here in the mid and east part of the state. All those mean icy roads. Take a look outside. This is north of town. You can see that some of the roads still covered. This is 65 north of town at Dickerson Pike. We go south on the dial to Wedgwood Avenue. Again, that looks a little bit better south of town. I can tell you our morning crew people coming in, they tell us it is icy, people slipping on the roads. And News 2's Christine Medella has more on that subject.
So some people said we didn't get much snow in the mid-state, and that's true, but we did get enough precipitation and enough to wet the roadways, and now that the temperatures have dropped, it is cold enough to make it stick around. You can see on this asphalt here, some of this is solid ice here on the ground that I'm chipping away, and it makes for some very slick surfaces here, and that slick surface combined with some hills in the mid-state makes for a very dangerous combination.
When you get icy roads on hills, it tend to get a little dangerous. A lot of people get hurt.
Well, the damage was to the lady in between the vehicles. So the roads are really icy. She was walking. It's an icy hill. They slid into her, and she got pinned right in between 2 vehicles. So she's really, really lucky.
It smashed her, but the way it angled, it actually kind of saved her life.
It's terrible. If you don't have to be outside, do not be outside.
Cars slid up and down Summit Oaks Drive in Bellevue all day Thursday. This car made it halfway up before the wheels started spinning. Take a look at this video from Old Charlotte Pike. You can see the icy road underneath the snow. The small sports car already ran off the road. People helped push it out. Then a Jeep came down the road and had trouble slowing down, tried to avoid hitting the car, and slid off the road as well. When a man came out to help, he almost fell on the slippery road.
That's nothing to mess with, especially for Tennessee.
The notorious black ice is out in the mid-state in parking lots and streets, making it very slick, and as the name implies, it is hard to detect. In some areas like this parking lot, there's a layer of ice underneath the snow, and it makes for very slick conditions. You can see just how slick that is, making it difficult to drive or to walk. Christine Medella, News 2.
The cold temperatures can be extremely dangerous for your health, and as News 2's Tiani Jones shows you, the Nashville Electric Service is making sure no one goes without heat.
The bitter cold. It's what you get in the winter, and staying inside is just not an option for many. Whether it's waiting for the bus,
this bus serves Route 24X,
walking to the office from your car, or having to work outside.
You got to cover up yourself pretty good so you can work outside.
But there are dangers to the cold.
We had a recent patient with profound hypothermia that required ICU admission and rewarming.
Vanderbilt's emergency department will actually see a decrease of patients coming in, but an increase of cold-related illnesses.
More of the elderly, people with more chronic medical problems.
And there are certain medications that make it difficult for the body to sense it's cold.
Specifically, sedative medications, pain medications, alcohol can be a problem. People just don't sense the danger that they're in.
The good news, however, is NES is making sure no one is without heat.
Well, we do not disconnect for non-payment if the temperature is expected to be below 32 degrees. It's just a public safety issue.
In fact, they haven't disconnected anyone since before Christmas.
But this December was about 33% colder than last December, so people should expect a higher bill.
NES suggests maintaining a temperature of 68 degrees to keep the bills low. However, medical professionals suggest the elderly maintain a temperature of 70. While staying indoors is suggested, most will have to venture out. The key is understanding that the cold can be dangerous. Tiani Jones, News 2.
And don't forget to head to WKRN.com for updated school closings and keep an eye on Storm Tracker. We take this full. We have links right here where the cursor is, including school closings and delays. Click on that. All the information you need is right there at your fingertip. Well, snow and ice are also hazardous up on the Cumberland Plateau. Side roads are covered in ice in Cumberland County. A fountain welcoming you to Crossville froze over. Some people still ventured out today in the snow and the bitter cold to shop.
I just stay on the main roads. I don't go off on the ones that aren't traveled very much because, you know, there's no sense in getting in the ditch or something.
Salt trucks were busy on the plateau, but when the temperatures drop into the teens and lower than that, the salt and brine don't do much to melt that ice. Icy ponds and waterways are always dangerous. Today, a Tennessee boy fell in an icy pond in Bartlett. The 10-year-old boy was rescued, but is in critical condition. A dog was also rescued from an icy pond in Franklin. Kids were also playing on the same ice, and a police officer told them to get off of it for their safety. Bob?
John, 4 people in Tennessee have died this week from the cold, 1 in Nashville and 3 in Memphis. Rob Marciano says part of the problem in Memphis is that so many people can't pay for heat.
Here on Beale Street, you know, snow is not unheard of, but it certainly is rare. Of course, in the morning and early afternoon, it's pretty quiet here, but to see snow pile up on the sidewalks even just a little bit is certainly surreal. Here at B.B. King's place, Elvis, of course, just down the street at Graceland. There's reasons for celebration here in Memphis, even with the weather this cold, but unfortunately the economic downturn has taken its toll. 1 in 5 people are said to live in a state of poverty, and that means they can't pay their bills, can't pay to keep their power and heat on. So that has officials here scrambling to try to keep everybody warm, and it is frustrating for a lot of residents.
All I want is a job. You know, I don't care if it's beneath what I used to do. I don't care, as long as I can take care of myself.
Jackie's story is not unique. About 1,700 customers have had their power cut off recently because they haven't been able to pay their bills. So the mayor got together with the power company, said we got to solve this problem because it's dangerously cold. So since yesterday, they've been able to go out and restore the power to those people. About 500 of those 1,700. They hope to do more of that today, because people are just having a hard time surviving. That woman was keeping warm by using a propane tank, a propane heater, and even using charcoal lit in her home to try to keep her warm. That obviously is very, very dangerous, and they don't want any more fatalities with this next, even more severe batch of cold air coming into the south.
Well, 6 YMCAs will open late tomorrow because of slippery roads. Donaldson, Margaret Maddox, Mount Juliet, and Oakwood Commons open at 7. Robertson County at 7:30 and Putnam County at 8 o'clock. John?
Well, Bob, now to the look at the highways around Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Not easy to drive around today or fly, for that matter. That snow in Milwaukee caused flights to be canceled to and from Nashville today. Flights were also scratched to Atlanta, Chicago, and Detroit. A deadly accident.
Maybe a half to a few